So there are three types of loan. Firstly, education loan, second, personal loan, and third, car loan. So education loan can be termed as a type of monetary assistance such as funding, rewards, financing, and scholarships, which when borrowed in cash have to be returned with some added interest. And it is always advisable for you to borrow according to your need. And there are three types of student loans. First, undergraduate loan, second, graduate loan, and third, postgraduate loan. And for personal loan, a personal loan can be defined as a sum of money that you can borrow for various purposes and not just for certain purposes like education loan or car loan. So it can be used to restructure your debt, to pay for your home repairs, or to arrange your own dream wedding. Examples of institutions that provide personal loans are banks, credit unions, and internet lenders. However, you must repay the money you borrow over time and usually with interest or higher interest than usual. So personal loans may be subject to fees from some lenders. And if we were to differentiate between personal loan, education loan, and car loan, usually personal loan has a higher interest rate rather than education loan and also car loan. So for personal loan, there are two types of it. So secured personal loan is backed by collateral, and the lack of repayment will result in repossession of property. And unsecured personal loan is not secured by anything other than the signature of the recipient, and it's usually based on the recipient general creditworthiness, and the lender will charge a higher interest rate because of the additional risk. If it's not repaid, the lender would resort to making legal claims to make good on the loss. Last but not least, we have the car loan. So car loan is an auto loan that is secured against the vehicle that you would like to buy, and thus the vehicle acts as a collateral for the loan. So the lender has the right to confiscate your vehicle if you default on your payments. Throughout the loan, the debt is paid off in set payments, so the lender keeps possession of the asset until you complete the last payment, similar to a mortgage. Another form of an unsecured loan is in the form of credit card or cards. So there are three types of card. There are charge card, there's credit card, and also debit card. So a charge card is a card that provides a payment method enabling the cardholder to make purchases which are paid for by the card issuer or the bank to whom the cardholder becomes indebted. So the cardholder is obligated to repay the debt to the card issuer in full by the due date, usually on a monthly basis, or be subject to late fees and restriction on further card use. It can also be named as a smart card. While a credit card, it allows you to have a revolving balance that you can pay off over a period of time. The convenience of making minimum payments is one of the things that lead consumers into credit card debt. And last but not least, we have the debit card. So a debit card, also known as a bank card, plastic card, or check card, is a plastic payment card that can be used instead of cash or making purchases. It's similar to a credit card, but unlike a credit card, the money comes directly from the user's bank account when performing a transaction. So you're not indebted to the bank, and instead the bank automatically deducts the payment from your account. And some cards may carry a stored value with which a payment is made, while most relay a message to the cardholder's bank to withdraw funds from a payer's designated bank account. So in some cases, the primary account number is assigned exclusively for the use on the internet, and there is no physical card. So there is the difference between charge card, debit card, and credit card. Thank you.
Let's move to the second part of assignment, which is investment and retirement planning. So we will go one by one. Investment first. So what is actually investment? The meaning of investment is like you putting out some money to ensure that in the future you will get more money when you are retired soon. In order to do that, we as the investors, we should know what are the types of investment that suitable with our financial status. We have a lot of types of investment, so we have to do some research first, what is the most suitable one for us. So there are a lot of types of investment. Firstly is savings account, second is fixed deposit accounts, third is bond, fourth is shares, fifth is unit trust, and the last one is real properties. So moving on to retirement planning. What is retirement planning? Retirement planning is the planning that we made in order to have a comfortable standard of living during our retirement. Retirement planning, we have EPF. For EPF, it provides retirement benefits for all the members through management of saving of efficient and reliable manners. Also in Malaysia we have SOSO. SOSO we got two categories, first category and second categories. So first category is only applicable for employee age below 60, and the second category all employees who reach the age of 60. So we have two types of employee. The first is principal and the second is immediate. So principal is employee who employee directly to work for him. The immediate is employer who works for the principal employer. We will continue to another part of the assignment.
Estate planning is the process of disposing of an estate after one's death, include the movable assets and immovable asset. It is a legal effective arrangement for the disposition and management of a person's estate according to Sharia and civil law. The objective of estate planning is to ensure that our assets are transferred to our loved one according to our wishes. What is wills or wasiat? Wills and wasiat is a document in writing that states a person's intention as to how his or her estate is to be administered and distributed after his or her death. It will include who will administer the will. For a Muslim, he or she can only distribute 1/3 of their estate through a will, and another 2/3 will be distributed through faraid. The concepts of will involve three parties, which are testator, executor, and beneficiary. Testator is a person who makes the will and must at least 18 years old and sound mind. Executor is the person who will administer and distribute the estate and needs to obtain a grant of probate in order to have full power to undertake the administration of the estate. Lastly, beneficiaries refers to someone eligible to receive distributions from the trust, will, or life insurance policy. There is 5 stages of administration of an estate, which are: first, to identify the assets and beneficiary of the estate; second, to collect the realize the deceased assets; third, to pay the deceased funeral and testamentary expenses and debts; fourth is distributed legacy; and fifth, to complete the administration and distribute the residuary. There are many benefits that we can get if we are writing a will. Some of it are declaring personal liabilities or somebody else's rights to your asset. Next, we can ensure speedy and efficient administration of your estate, and it will avoid family disputes. Next is appointing guardians for children, and the last one is something that you probably do not want to dwell on. There are some circumstances that can cancel the will, which is marriage, destruction, a letter will, and lastly is conversion to Islam. I will explain about distribution of estate. If the distributor has a spouse only and have no issue, so the spouse will get the whole estate. If he has a parents and spouse but no issue, the parents will get half and the spouse will get half of the estate. Next, when he has an issue only, the issues will get the whole estate. Same goes to parents. The parent will get the whole estate too. But when he has a spouse and issues, the spouse will get 1/3 and the issues will get 2/3 of whole estate. If he has parents and issues but do not have a spouse, the parent will get 1/3 and the issues will get 2/3. And if he has parents, spouse and issues, the parent and the spouse will get 1/4 and the issues will get 1/2. If he do not have 3 of it, first he have to give an equal share between brothers and sisters, grandparents in equal shares, uncles and aunts in equal shares, great-grandparents in equal share, great-granduncles and aunts in equal share, and the last one is government. This distribution is in descending order of priority, which start with brother or sister and end with the government if they do not have a recipient. Faraid is also known as Ilmul Faraid. Is a science dealing with the law pertaining to the devotional acts based on the Sharia in respect of the wealth of a person after the certainty of his or her death or on the assumption of his or her death. Faraid is a section of the Islamic law that deals with the distribution of the estate of a deceased person among his heirs in accordance with Allah's decree in the Holy Quran and according to the Hadith. This is the order of sequence of rights on the estate. First is to discharge all his obligation relating to zakat, various kafarah, or penalty for oath, zihar, caution, whilst fasting in the month of Ramadan, ihram during Hajj or Umrah. Next is to pay for his or her funeral expenses. After that, need to settle all of his or her debts to the fellow beings. Next is to execute his or her will, and the last order is to distribute the remaining estate among his or her heirs after settlement of 1 to 4 above. This is the cause of inheritance under faraid. The first one is nikah. Nikah is a valid marriage contract in Islam. Second one is wala. Wala is a relationship or bondage where the cause of the inheritance of the emancipator to the estate of the emancipated person. And the last one is nisab. Nisab is a relationship through the womb or blood. This is the Muslim heirs group under faraid. The first one is ashabul furud, which is the Quranic heirs. It means that have a relation by affinity or a blood relation. Second is asaba, which is the agnatic heirs. There are three asaba, which is the first one is asaba binafsihi, the male relation in their own. Second is asaba bighairi, the female relation in the right of another. And the last one is the asba ma'aghairi, which means the female relation with one another. Lastly is baitumal. It is the institution that functions as a trustee of the Muslim. There are many estates in faraid, which is immovable property, movable property, money, maha, property purchased by deceased person during his lifetime, property has been mortgaged by deceased person, other assets, all the aforesaid property in and outside the residence of deceased person, and the last one is all other assets of material value.
Okay, let's continue to the entitlement in the faraid. Who will be entitled for the estate and how many percent will the individual receive? Okay, for this example, we will use if the husband is deceased. The widow will get 1/4 of the estate if they have no children, and 1/8 if they have children. Okay, for the father of the deceased, he will get 1/6 of the estate if the deceased has children, and 1/6 plus the balance if the deceased has no children. For the mother of the deceased, she will get 1/6 of the estate if the deceased has children, and 1/3 if the deceased has no children. Come to the family of the widows. They are not entitled for the estate of the deceased. Okay, for the son of the deceased, 2-to-1 sharing of the estate with the deceased daughter, and all of the balance of the estate if he is the only son. Okay, for the daughter of the deceased, 1-to-2 sharing of the estate with the deceased son, and 1/2 if she the only children in the family, and 2/3 if the deceased only has the daughters. Okay, let's continue to the issue related to faraid. Okay, a Muslim is only allowed to give away more than 1/3 of his estate in a will. So the balance can be given through the hibah of gift or nominee in insurance. A Muslim can hibah his estate to anybody within living duration, whether partial or all of the estates through hibah, while in Islam law, nomination of the above are considered not valid or does not fall to the nominee upon the death of the deceased. Okay, now I will explain about the differences between wasiat, hibah and faraid. Okay, the time giving of wasiat is when the death occurs, and the distribution limit is 1/3 from the inheritance. The recipient will be non-heirs. Approval of heirs is all the heirs are willing to accept the inheritance. For hibah, the time of giving will be given during life, and there will be no limit of distribution. The distribution can be heirs and non-heirs. For faraid, the time of giving is when the death occurs, and the distribution is based on the faraid calculation, and the recipient is only among the family heirs, and the approval need be equal distribute. Okay, let's continue to the next topic. Future financial challenges in 5 to 10 years' time. Okay, I will explain a bit about the type of financial challenges. First, unclear on future planning. May get into trouble with the finance if you don't have planning and skills to manage your money in future. Next, emergency fund not found. For this, if your income does not cover an expense, it is possible to build up the emergency fund. Next, unable to differentiate between needs and wants. Okay, differentiating between needs and wants can be difficult for many people, and if you can tell the difference, it may hold you back and prevent you from learning on how to save money. Okay, next, cybercrime. Okay, any crime in which computer is targeted or tool used to conduct the crime is called cybercrime. Besides, people facing different types of cybercrimes like phishing, fraud, identity theft, email spoofing, bullying, cyberstalking, malware, and computer virus. Okay, last, fail to set up business budget. Creating a budget is easy when it's for own household, but when the budget is for your business with multiple expense categories and a variety of decision makers, things can get a little complicated. Okay, let's continue to the factors of financial problem. Okay, first, because of personal debt crisis, people usually spend more than what they earns. Okay, next, unemployment. Job opportunity is very limited nowadays due to COVID-19. So this can lead to increasing rate of unemployment. Okay, next, economic downturn. The effect of economic downturn will cause low standard of living for people who have a low income. For example, the increasing price of necessities such as sugar. And next, the pandemic. The pandemic will likely affect the whole world economic well-being. Due to restriction order that were implemented, many sources of income activities have to stop eventually. Okay, last, the lack of budgeting and money management skills. The factor of financial problem is simply that people don't have skills to manage their money. Spending your hard-earned money without financial planning is like driving into unfamiliar territory without GPS.
Let's continue on sign of having financial stress. So these are the 5 types of financial stress. Number 1 is decline in mental health. For example, anxiety, insomnia, self-harm, depression, and suicidal. Number 2, physical health. Can be losing or gaining weight. High-risk disease. For example, blood pressure or heart attack. Social withdrawal, such as decrease in social interaction. Hikikomori, also known as social isolation. And confinement. Number 4, unhealthy coping mechanism. For example, illegal substance abuse, gambling, self-harm. Number 5, if you're having financial stress, there's gonna be a problem with relationship with your loved one. For example, anger management out of control, lower libido drivers, shouting out, family downfall. So, how to cope with financial challenge? Number 1 is to discuss. Declare your financial situation to your family or a friend. I suggest that ask for financial advice from the trusted financial expert and get guidance towards the problem we are having. Number 2 is be a realistic planner. Track your spending, create monthly budget that covers your expenses. Number 3 is to manage yourself. For example, be positive and determined to get out of from difficulties. Start consuming healthy food and be presentable. And the last one is to secure your private data. This is important because it is a good idea to know how to recognize cybercrime, which can be the first step to helping protect yourself and your data. Now let's move on to 7 preparation for future financial challenging. Number 1 is to create a budget. Guiding our spending decision and handle unanticipated expenses without involving debt. Number 2 is debt repayment. Settle our debt or loan as soon as possible. For example, personal loan, housing loan, credit card, hire purchase, and education loan. Number 3 is faraid. Will and estate planning are important as those are the process of segregating the asset for inheritors and handling the responsibility after our death or incapacitation. Number 4 is emergency expenditure, which is emergency saving if involved in accident or used for medical bills. Number 5, having insurance coverage to ensure our family's life goals are not affected and act as retirement planning. Number 6 is invest more money. An investment is an asset or item acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation. Appreciation refers to an increase in the value of asset over the time. Now, and the last one is minimize monthly base. Cutting anything that is not necessary or you not using it. That's all.